Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Myth Busting. This episode we are going to be testing the new blocks that were added to the game in the 1.7 update to find out if mobs can spawn on them. Now the results I think are going to be fairly predictable. We've got the new dirt, we've got Podzol, new wood logs and new wood planks, we've got stained glass panes, packed ice, red sand and new leaves for the new wood types. Now all of these are similar to blocks that are already in the game, and so they are probably going to behave in the same way when it comes to mob spawning. But of course it is always a good idea to do the testing so that we know for sure. So the first block on our test is the new dirt block. If you don't know what this is, you can get it in creative mode by using the give command. You'll see that this dirt block has a damage value of 1, and that means when it's placed down on the ground like this, mycelium and grass won't be able to spread onto this block, which is pretty good for building. However, we're here to test it, so let's turn off these lights and move around. And there you go, we've got mobs spawning on this new dirt block. Next up is Podzol. In case you didn't know, Podzol does not spread to other dirt blocks, and also you need Silk Touch to pick it up, but let's turn off these lights and have a look. Do we get mobs spawning? The answer is yes, we do. So next up we have the two new wood types. We have the acacia and the dark oak, and we're going to be testing these at the same time to save on a little bit of time. So let's make sure that we see mobs spawning on pads that are adjacent to each other. We've got some on that one there and that one on there, so we know that they spawn on both types. So same deal again, this time with the wood planks. So let's turn off the lights and have a look. Are we getting spawns on adjacent pads? Yes we are, they spawn on both types of wood planks. So now for the first of two tests with the stairs. This time we have it so the flat surface isn't at the top. The mob shouldn't be able to spawn on this, so if we turn off the lights, I am fairly sure that flying around here we are not going to see anything at all. And yep, that's a pretty clear indicator. However, I'm going to make a couple of laps around just to make sure. So no spawns whatsoever, and it shouldn't be the case with the flat surface on the top. You can see here that the stairs are upside down. So let's turn off the lights, fly around and have a look. We've got a couple of spawns over there. Looks like it's being pretty stubborn at the moment, but there we go. Spawns kicking in all over the place, and I can see we've got them on both types of wood. So now it's time for the half slabs. At the moment they are on the lower side, so we should not see anything spawn at all. Let's fly around. Yep, exactly what you would expect here. So let's test this with the half slabs in the upper portion of the block. Mobs should be able to spawn on top of that, so let's turn off the light and fly around. We got some spawns over there on adjacent pads, and so it's pretty clear they can spawn on both types. So next up is stained glass. We're going to test all of these at once because I don't think mobs are going to be able to spawn on any of them. However, one interesting thing about stained glass, with regular glass you can place torches and redstone torches on top of them. You can't do that on stained glass, which is interesting. But let's turn off the lights and see what happens. We shouldn't see any spawns at all because it is a transparent block, and most of the time mobs aren't able to spawn on them. And you can see here we are getting no spawns whatsoever. So next up is the stained glass panes, and you can see here we have all the different colour types in, but let's turn off the lights. We're probably not going to see any spawns at all. I'm going to fly around a bit and make sure, but you can see here we're getting no spawns whatsoever. So next up is the one that I have been waiting for. This is packed ice, and this could be interesting because mobs can't spawn on regular ice, and if they can spawn on this ice, then it means the mob will spawn, and when it decides to move, the ice is going to accelerate their movement, which could cause them to fall off the edge. So that could be very useful for mob spawners. But let's turn off the lights and find out. And there we go, we have spawns, which is good. Let's see if I can capture some of them walking off the edge. Okay, that guy there just started to walk. He pushed off one of the other skeletons and fell in himself. Let's see if we can capture any more of that. There we go, that creeper over there, then this guy over here. Once they start moving, it seems like they can't stop, which is really cool. So next up is the red sand. All of it is in place, so let's turn off the lights and see if mobs can spawn. And we're getting no mob spawns at the moment. There we go, we've got a spider over here, and now the mob spawning is kicking in. So you can see they can spawn on red sand. So we are almost done now. It is time for the last test. We have both of the leaf types in there from the new tree types. So let's turn off the lights. We shouldn't see any mobs spawning because mobs don't usually spawn on leaves. And you can see here with the new leaf types as well, it appears to be the same. So that is the last of our testing, and if ever you need to refer to this video again because you can't remember if a mob can spawn on this type of block or that type of block, there is a list of the results of our testing in the description box down below, so you don't have to watch the video again. Now in the last episode I asked if enchantments affected item durability. You all casted your votes and it was pretty much an even split, 50-50, so nothing much to comment on there. However, in that episode I did make some mistakes in my testing and I'd like to take the time to correct myself. So there were two things that I missed last episode. First of all, the Thorns enchantment, it just didn't cross my mind and therefore I didn't test it. But the Thorns enchantment of course does durability damage. Now at any level of Thorns it is only ever going to do 1 point of durability damage when you are attacked by a player or an entity. Now they can do any amount of damage, the Thorns will only ever add 1 extra durability point. Now if you walk into lava or cactus or take some sort of natural environment damage, you're not going to get anything from the Thorns. It's only when you're attacked by a player or an entity. So the other mistake that I made was with item durability being related to damage. I concluded that it wasn't, with the exception of TNT, whereas actually it is directly related to the amount of damage that you take. So with the environmental damage, the other things that we tested around here, you take such a low amount of damage that it only does 1 durability point to the armor, whereas if a player or a mob was to attack you with a sharpness 5 sword, they would do a lot more damage and therefore more durability points would be lost. Now a good example of that is with the TNT. When we stand in the middle of the blast we take the most amount of damage from it, and that's why it affected more of our durability. Now the only exception to this is with falling. When you fall from a distance you can take a lot of damage but you will not take any durability points on your armor. And so a big thanks goes out to Pommes Peter of the Zipground crew for pointing that out to me in the comments, otherwise I probably wouldn't have picked up on that, but there you go. So that concludes another episode of Minecraft Mythbusting. If you have enjoyed this one, please do give a like, it is always appreciated and it helps support the series. But that is it from me, so as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.